Gaurav Sharma is, well, I would say in one word, an entertainer. The minute you laugh a lot, you live a little more, you love a little more, and then you laugh a little more.
Wow. What goes on to making a radio show?
Keep it short and sweet. Keep it simple as possible. Kiss. You realize what is the medium. The medium is, there is someone who's sitting in a studio. There is an audience, large audience, probably millions of people who are on the other side. They want a companion. I just want to tell everyone that, radio is that friend of yours. And of course, to my beautiful Bengali wife. Amar shopno je shoti holo aaj apne pyar ke sapne sach hue. Always be selfish. Seekho. Logo se lo aap. How do you want to make sure that this podcast is going to be different or is going to emotionally connect with everyone?
Namaskaram, we have Kamlksh Shetty, popularly known as Sharmaji.
Hey, I am Sharmaji. Wow, what an honor, and thank you so much for having me here. It just reminds me that I'm back on radio because I love the name of the show, which is Who's on Air? And there is a headphone and there's a microphone, so I couldn't feel more comfortable. I'm home.
The man with many hats. Who's Gaurav Sharma?
Gaurav Sharma is, well, I would say in one word, an entertainer. I think I love to live a little, love a little, and laugh a lot. And I think that's the entire thing. And I think that cycle continues. The minute you laugh a lot, you live a little more, you love a little more, and then you laugh a little more. So, my philosophy in life is ki, जो भी प्यार से मिला हम उसी के हो लिए. Keep it simple guys. The minute you realize कि यार जो भी प्यार से मिला अगर आप उसी के हो लिए तो फिर life तो बड़ी simple हो गई यार. Like I said, live, love, laugh.
How did FM fever happen? What was the journey leading to this?
Oh, radio. All we hear is Radio Gaga. Yeah, that song really inspired me. But radio happened by chance. Sometimes they say the best things happen by accident. And I had no inkling of joining radio. कभी सोचा भी नहीं था कि मैं radio करूँगा. Radio सुनता था अमीन सियानी साहब की आवाज़, and what a legend he is. तो उनकी आवाज़ सुनता था, and I used to spend hours listening to radio. And I used to always wonder कि ये medium है क्या, ये आवाज़ कहाँ से आती है, ये गाने कहाँ से बजते हैं, ये interviews जो हैं ये कहाँ से होते हैं. And it so happened that a friend of mine was with an FM channel, and she called me up and suddenly said, "Yeah, Gaurav, I know that you're a performer, I know that you're an artist, I know you do theatre. यार ये radio station एक नई आवाज़ को ढूंढ रहा है, एक radio jockey को ढूंढ रहा है." सर radio jockey क्या मतलब होता है? So then she said कि एक radio jockey को ढूंढ रहा है, so would you be keen? So I said, देखिए रेडियो तो मैं नहीं समझता, but हाँ, if it means interacting with people, if it means engaging with people, if it means reaching out and playing a little music and conversing with people, I said, chalo, karte hain. And that's how my very first show happened. It was called Britannia Little Hearts Love is on the Air. लोग उन दिनों चिट्ठियां लिखा करते थे, and we used to read. I used to play this agony uncle or agony aunt, as they used to call the term. And
that was very popular, that show, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was the number one show in the country, in fact. And it was a lovely show, and that really, I think, taught me a lot. And then, since then, there was no looking back. और उसी समय ऐसा हुआ कि ये रेडियो का कारवां शुरू हो गया, और साथ ही साथ मैं पढ़ रहा था. I was still doing my MBA. I got into my first job, which was advertising. Got into my second job, and तो ये कारवां चलता गया और रेडियो का कारवां चलता गया. And then at some point of time, it all merged, where I decided कि अब ये दोनों अलग-अलग नहीं हो सकता, अब रेडियो ही करते हैं. And then it just kind of became radio for more than 15 years.
Wow. What goes on to making a radio show? MBA helped and
Of course. I always feel some kind of education always helps because it gives you an overview. I think जो आपको एक backing जो है वो I think your education really gives you, and I always think that it helps. So I think the MBA really helped. But what goes into making a radio show? Nothing, yaar. You just have to connect with the people. There's no, like I said, keep life simple. Yeah, or like they used to say, KISS, keep it simple.
Keep it short and sweet.
Bilkul, short and sweet. Keep it simple. I was going to say stupid, but then we don't use those words nowadays. So yeah, keep it short and sweet. Keep it simple as possible. Kiss. And therefore, the whole idea is that if you realize what is the medium. The medium is, there is someone who's sitting in a studio. No one can see him. There is an audience, large audience, probably millions of people who are on the other side. They want a companion. And that companion is radio, and through radio, that radio jockey. So if you're able to create that empathy, if you're able to create that emotional connect, what kya chahiye? Now it becomes sometimes a little more difficult for the radio jockey because वो तो कमरे में बैठा है, वो तो अपनी ऑडियंस को देख नहीं पाता, तो उसको दिमाग में एक पिक्चर, he has to kind of visualize a listener, and then he has to do that show keeping that one person in mind, which is why I feel it's magical, because radio is, at the end of it all, I think the best part about the medium is it's a theatre of mind. Okay. You can imagine whatever you want the listener to be. For example, a lot of people before they saw me, they thought, Sharmaji is a 6'5" bodybuilder type human being, deep, dark, handsome voice. Dekha to baat alag hai, but but it's about the theatre of mind. It's about the picture that you want to create, and I think that is so beautiful.
Lovely. So, just tell me about the agony uncle part which you did. What was the most funniest or the craziest part which you responded to?
Oh, this is old age is catching up. It's almost many years now, more than 20 years. I think since I last hosted that particular show. But I think I can't really think of anything funny, but what would happen is, and what you will find really cute is that you're again playing the median, right? They are writing to someone else. They are expecting you to read that message out for them. So, आप एक माध्यम हो, आप वो माध्यम हो, X लिख रहा है Y के लिए, और वो ये लिख रहा है कि I want to reach out to this person, or I'm in love with the person, या फिर someone is upset with me or whatever. Now, they're sending me the letter. They're not sending to Y that letter. But the letters that I would receive, they would have all hearts in it. They would have perfumes on it. It was almost like they knew that the love that they were sending me, I would be able to translate to the other person.
That's beautiful.
I think that's beautiful. Just that thought, right? Of that you are no one in the picture, but the fact they're expecting you to carry that love and take it forward to the other person is, I think, what made that journey so beautiful.
You've been there in setting up so many radio channels or appearances. How do you plan the slots? And what made you to hold on to radio? And what is the speciality you have?
Yeah, I think, like I said, it's just this, it's a magical medium. So right from Radio Mirchi to Radio City to Fever FM, Radio Nasha, Radio 1, Punjabi Fever, been associated with almost all the radio stations, most of them from its very inception.
You set it up?
Yes. So, that's the best part about, I think a startup is always magical because, there is no formula. You learn as you go, and there is no one's working for anyone, everyone's working as a team. I think the teamwork is beautiful because everyone is passionate in setting that up. So everyone is playing a role, everyone is working together. सब साथ में लड़ रहे हैं, सब साथ में प्यार कर रहे हैं, सब साथ में decisions ले रहे हैं. And then to be able to set up a radio station, which, like I said, you can't see, you can only hear, you can only feel, you can only, really महसूस किया जा सकता है. I think that is the magic of radio. And then when you're able to set that particular radio station, you choose the right talent, the right shows, the right music. And then when, that button goes on, the switch goes on, which says on air, like your show goes on air. Yeah, on air. When that button goes on, which says on air, and the first voice comes out of that radio station, the first song that plays out of that radio station, and then when your telephone lines start ringing, and when your WhatsApp messages start coming in, and when your emails come in, and when that appreciation, comes in from your listener, I think it's just such a fabulous feeling.
I'm going to come back to this point soon, but tell me one thing. Do you think the relevance of radio has decreased? And if so, how can we bring it back to people?
Oh, यार ये क्वेश्चन तो मतलब मेरे पैदा होने से पहले भी ये always comes up, and I think somehow radio is always the medium that gets a little bashed around. 70s में गाना आया था कि video killed the radio star. तो लोगों ने सोचा कि तब radio गया. Then Queen came up with a song called, Radio Gaga. Radio, Someone Still Loves You. So everyone thought it was over. MTV came in, I want my MTV. And everyone thought कि अब radio digital happened, CDs came on, and every time podcasts have arrived, and everyone thinks that, that's the end of the radio. But I just want to tell everyone that, radio is that friend of yours. Yeah, it's the friend, it's a forever friend. And therefore, it will always be with you. And it will always be there. Yes, the friend needs to kind of make some changes, needs to adapt to the times. But, will that friend, it's that sticky friend of yours that will always be with you. And therefore, it's always stood all the tests of time because it's your best friend. Like they say कि और रेडियो से बेहतर कोई मीडियम नहीं, आपका कोई दोस्त नहीं है. Because it's with you every time. आप सड़क पे गाड़ी में हो तो आप रेडियो सुन रहे हो, आप घर आ जाते हो तो आप रेडियो सुन रहे हो, आपने अपना Instagram भी ऑन कर दिया, so now radio is available on digital. So radio is that one friend that you always look forward to, because all the other mediums, to a certain extent, they lack that emotional connect. And I think the one thing that radio, really rules over most other mediums is to be able to emotionally connect with you. Because it's that one-on-one. The listener is listening to you as a friend. When the presenter is talking, he's talking to you as a friend. And I think that relationship is absolutely magical. Also, just want to say that I think in anything that we do, I think two key words in life, and that's my mantra, is how relevant are you and how radical are you. And
you need to elaborate.
In whatever we do, whichever medium you are, today if you're making a podcast, everyone thinks, oh wow, let's do, everyone's doing a podcast. But at some point of time, if you are not relevant to your audience, there's no point. You open a restaurant. If that restaurant is not relevant to your audience, even today some of the biggest stars in the entertainment industry, I'm sure they wake up in the morning and the first question they ask themselves is, am I relevant? He's a 10-year-old who's on Instagram. What is the 10-year-old's biggest challenge? Am I relevant amongst my friends? Am I relevant amongst my peers? You could be a 65-year-old grandparent, or you could be the biggest star. He wakes up or she wakes up every day in the morning and says, am I relevant? So the key is not this medium, that medium, OTT, cinema, radio, podcast. Like I said again, ये सब चीजें डिस्कशंस के लिए बहुत अच्छी हैं. पर आप अगर मुद्दे की बात करें तो दो ही चीजें हैं. एक, आर यू रेलेवेंट? अगर आप रेलेवेंट रहोगे तो यू आर इन द गेम. अगर आप रेलेवेंट नहीं रहोगे तो यू आर नॉट इन द गेम.
What about the radical part?
And radical, because we're in a very cluttered world, right? We're in a very cluttered world. आज कितने सारे रेडियो स्टेशन हैं, आज कितने सारे OTT चैनल्स हैं, आज कितने सारे पॉडकास्ट हैं. What is important is how radical are you? आपने कहा नमस्कारम. Usually people will greet people by saying hey, but I say hey. I'm just being a little more radical, but I'm still being relevant. मैंने कोई ऐसी अतरंगी चीज नहीं कही कि लोग कहेंगे यार ये क्या कर रहा है, हम तो उससे कनेक्ट नहीं कर पा रहे, क्या है. नहीं, आप फिर भी कनेक्ट कर पाओगे. मैंने हे में दो और हे डाल दिए. हे
ये आपका सिग्नेचर है.
बट इट्स स्टिल एन एक्सटेंशन ऑफ हे. सो इज इट स्टिल relevant? Yes. Am I still radical? Yes. Will it stand out from someone who greets someone by just saying hey? Of course, because I'm saying hey. So therefore you have to, no matter what you do, it is about being radical, because we're in a very cluttered, in a very saturated world that we're living in. So you have to be radical and you have to be relevant. But really the word of, I would say, the next 100 years and the word of this particular year will always be relevant.
Great. What is the most fun and interesting part in the radio business?
The unpredictability. Every day is a new day.
Okay.
You don't know which song is going to be a big hit. You don't know how the needs of the listener are going to change. You don't know how the city or the country or the world that we live in is going to change. So you have to be able to adapt to the changing situation on a daily basis. So at any point of time, you can't just be sitting there and say, nahi yaar, ye formula. It is basically anything but formula. It's anything but formulaic. And I think that is what makes it so exciting. मुझे पूछना है कि what is it about you? There is a certain glow, there is a certain positive energy. I want to ask you, how do you stay relevant?
So today is Guru Purnima. I owe this to my Guru, Sri Jaggi Vasudev. If you know, from Isha Yoga Center.
Of course.
So I'll go back to say about 9 years from now. Life had taken a turn in a very different way. Shadi hui thi, मतलब 5 साल पहले. Then also I went through a lot of financial crisis around the, because घर भी लिया था, fight हो रहे थे, सोच रहा था खत्म हो गई जिंदगी करके. And then there was an ad which I saw somewhere about Sadhguru, and I went there. I kind of did the course, which is the inner engineering course, and that's where it's all changed for me. I did a lot of things in the yogic part of it.
Wow.
So today I can be on 2 meals. There was one time I was a muscular guy, Shari knows it better. I used to have 6 meals a day to 5 meals a day. Today I can be on 2 meals and still be very energetic. If you're saying it's a glow, it's basically probably the kind of kriyas which I do. I highly advocate that. So zindagi badli wase. And love to my Guru, Sadhguru. So that's what it's about.
Lovely.
So it's see, I mean, you're one person, probably I'm not going to interview but it's your day. So let me ask you this, what is the most interesting part of any part where you had during radio, like the कुछ ऐसा बहुत मस्ती वाली चीज हुई थी जो अभी भी याद रहती है?
यार रोज पागलपंती हो.
वो कुछ ऐसी पागलपंती वाली बात है which you felt has to be told.
नहीं, I think ये बहुत ही अच्छी बात है कि हम रोज इतनी पागलपंती होती है कि हर एक दिन is crazier than the other. And I think that is what is magical, कि उसमें क्या होता है कि craziness or pagalpanti becomes the norm. There is nothing crazier than the next day is always going to be crazier than the previous day. And I think that is what makes it even more exciting because इतने सारे elements हैं. There are so many elements that go into making a radio station. A lot of people think यार वो there's a person behind the microphone और वो गाने बजा रहा है and that's about it. But नहीं, there's a producer, there is a music manager, there is a programming head who's the big boss, there is a sales person, there's a marketing person, studio भी है, guests भी आ रहे हैं. prizes भी हैं, winners भी हैं, listeners भी हैं. ये सब चीज every day, every minute takes place in the radio station. तो आप सब सोच सकते हो कि क्या पागलपंती होती होगी. तो इसलिए it's a lot of fun. And then again, the age group. I mean, आपके interns भी हैं. You'll have around 17, 18-year-old interns. You also have the slightly senior citizens like me who are there. And then imagine that being able to handle the madness that different generations bring, that different mindsets and mind frame bring. Someone is more social media enthu. Someone is more old-fashioned and they नहीं यार हम तो old school radio में believe करेंगे. Someone says नहीं it's more touch and feel. Someone says no we need to be out in the streets and taking sound bites of people. So imagine all of these things happening at the same time in a radio station. Oh, this chaos. I think there is beauty in this chaos. And I think managing and bringing it all together is what makes it so beautiful.
Great. I mean, is radio still lucrative, you feel, for any part of what you're doing? Because there's so many options like social media.
Of course. I think there are, there are so many people who are still, for whom it's a career. Because like I said, there are so many areas that you could be a music manager, you could be a radio jockey, you could be a producer, you could be a programming head, you could be a salesperson. So each of these radio stations, each station has a team of around 50 odd people working in it. So absolutely it's lucrative.
It's good to go.
It's good to go. However, like I said, every medium today, even when you're making films, it's films plus social media, films plus social media plus events. Likewise, I don't think there's any medium that's a standalone medium. I think like I said, it's all become content. The way to look at it again, I like to simplify things.
Right. That's what
मैं ये नहीं देखता कि OTT है, फिल्म है. मैं देखता हूँ ये content है. Content में क्या क्या हो रहा है? Content में आप रेडियो भी कर रहे हो, content में आप digital भी कर रहे हो, content में आप events भी कर रहे हो. All of this, and then there will be one central brand, one mother brand. So in this case, the mother brand becomes radio, but आप radio events भी कर रहे हो. आप डिजिटल भी कर रहे हो. लाइकवाइज आपका कोर ब्रांड डिजिटल हो सकता है, पर उसमें आप रेडियो भी कर रहे हो, उसमें आप इवेंट्स भी कर रहे हो, उसमें आप पिक्चरें भी बना रहे हो. सो एट द एंड ऑफ इट ऑल, आई डोंट थिंक इट्स अबाउट द मीडियम, इट्स अबाउट द कंटेंट.
That's what we're trying to derive from each show which we're doing.
Absolutely.
So coming to Gaurav Sharma, the singer. It so happened a couple of weeks back, I was at an event and Gaurav Sharma suddenly comes on stage और जो mood पूरा बदल जाता है वहाँ पर. And I was there and I get a partner, I start dancing thanks to him. And then later on I thought it's his band. It wasn't. The subtle way Gaurav came on stage, he got the entire show started. Okay, आप band के owner लेकिन आप नहीं थे, but he got that pulse going. And I think the way you actually came over, and it's very nice and humble for an artist to get into somebody else's band and sing. इतने finesse के साथ कि ये कैसे होता है? मतलब what should an artist know about this?
पहले तो यार, you have to have the empathy inside of you. You have to respect the space that you're in. वहाँ पे there was a band that was performing. उन्होंने they were kind enough to let me be on stage. I need to respect that. There is an audience there. I need to respect that. I need to respect the space that I'm in. I think once there is a certain amount of respect that you have for everyone else, then उसके बाद में you bring in your energy. At the end of it all is the energy. It's about the positive energy. Like I say, जिंदगी मिलके बिताएंगे, हाले दिल गा के सुनाएंगे, हम तो सात रंग हैं ये जहां रंगी बनाएंगे. It's only about the energy. It's only about, so what was I doing that day? I was just translating my energy that I have for music to the audience. और कुछ नहीं हो रहा था वहां पे. और अगर आपकी नीयत अच्छी हो, अगर इंटेंट अच्छा हो, अगर आप सिर्फ पॉजिटिविटी से बात करें तो वो पॉजिटिविटी लोगों पे झलक रही थी. Imagine it was one song. I didn't even know that one song would create the kind of impact that it did. But the only reason is because it was just transferring of energy. All I was doing was transferring the energy. What do I do in a radio station? I'm sitting in a studio. I'm transferring the energy in my studio to my listeners. What was I doing on stage that day? I was transferring my energy and the energy of the music into the audience. So it's about transferring positivity and a positive energy. And I feel कि वो झलकता है. अगर आप पॉजिटिव हो तो माइका लाल कोई उस पॉजिटिविटी को रोक नहीं सकता. Nothing can stop you. So you have to keep telling yourself, and this is for everyone who feels a little down, who feels a little out, that boss, we all have that energy, and that energy needs to be shared. And find the right kind of people. Find the right kind of people जिनके साथ वो energy bounce. You know, there is a bounce, and look at that. I'm feeling it. You know, just sitting with you today. I mean, imagine we're kind of even wearing similar colors. Yeah, it's just the energy that we have.
Yes, probably there's something which is always there. Like, you know, शायद दो लोग मिलते हैं. I saw you as an artist today. I have the luck to have you right in front of me. Vibing.
No, and that's what happened. So for the longest time there was radio, and then I said, now can I translate this energy through music? Which is why just very recently I started my own band, and it's called Wakao.
You started that day with Wakao, and we all went Wakao.
So what is Wakao? Yeah, there is a word called wow. Wow से एक expression ऊपर है Wakao. You don't need to say wow anymore. बिल्कुल. Hey से hey. Wow say Wakao.
How do you coin this word?
I think it's just an expression, right? It's an expression that comes from within, which just exudes so much of positivity. And of course, I have to say that it's this particular word is loaned, borrowed, inspired from a song. For one of my musical idols, R.D. Burman, Pancham Da, he created this term in a song. एक गाना है जिसमें suddenly गाना चल रहा है and the guitar is playing ta 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 and he just screamed out Wakao ta na 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 ta. उसमें और कुछ है नहीं. There's just this word. It's like a scream that comes in at the start of a song. Ta 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 Wakao ta na 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 ta na. And the song is something else. But imagine that word had that energy that it just kind of stood out. Wakao. The minute you say Wakao, you can't say तुम थोड़ा seriously कोशिश करो बोलने की. Wakao नहीं कर सकते. So that's the energy. And I said, can we entertain, can we engage people through music? रेडियो पे भी यही होता है. म्यूजिक बजाते हो और आप बातें करते हो. तो I said कि भाई इसमें भी ये कर सकते हैं. लॉकडाउन पे मैंने एक प्रॉपर्टी शुरू की थी, अंताक्षरी विद शर्मा जी. वहाँ पे भी हम बातें कर रहे थे और हम गाने गा रहे थे.
So you used to engage with the audience?
With the audience, absolutely. It was Insta Live. I did more than 300 sessions with different celebrities. Lockdown था, लोग घर पे थे. Everyone was going through their own challenges. We were not used to this world that we were living in. And suddenly I said कि यार सब घर पे बैठे हैं. Celebrities भी घर पे हैं, singers भी घर पे हैं, जनता भी घर पे है, हम भी घर पे हैं, हम कहीं बाहर नहीं जा सकते. और क्यों ना हम साथ में मिल के कुछ करें. And which is that one game that every Indian knows. पैदा होते ही उसे और कुछ पता ना हो, पर ये खेल तो उसको पता है, जो है अंताक्षरी. तो ऐसे क्यों ना अंताक्षरी खेली जाए. So I called up all my friends from the industry. I said, आप भी घर पे बैठे हो, मैं भी घर पे बैठा हूँ, लोग भी घर. what if we just bring everyone together and we entertain them? And I said, yeah. And everyone, right from Manoj Vajpayee Sahab to Shatrughan Sinha Sahab to Sonu Nigam to Shan to Sunil.
They all came on the show?
They all came on the show.
With other people, I mean, they were...
Every day there would be one celebrity who would come in, उनके साथ बातचीत होती थी, बीच-बीच में हम गाने गाते थे तो अंताक्षरी खेलते थे और फिर listeners या viewers जो हैं वो देख रहे होते हैं and they would join in. अगर कोई guest आ गया, कोई celebrity देख रहा है, उसको patch on कर लिया तो वो कारवां बढ़ता जाता था. And people, we would all be playing अंताक्षरी live. तो कोई कनाडा से देख रहा है, कोई जापान से देख रहा है, कोई साउथ अफ्रीका से देख रहा है, कोई मुंबई से देख रहा है, कोई झुमरी तलैया से देख रहा है. You know, people are all there, and you know, it was so much of fun, and something that people relate with. Like I said, relevant, and you were still being radical about it because कोई अंताक्षरी नहीं खेल रहा था, हम खेल रहे थे लोगों के साथ. And for that 1 hour, सबकी परेशानी, सबका जो भी थोड़ा सा भी डाउट था कि ये कोविड चीज क्या है, it just disappeared. So I decided to continue with it, and now you know, on my Insta handle at Sharmaji, I still once a week I keep this tradition on, and I call up a friend and I say कि आ जाओ, चलो अंताक्षरी.
ये होता है अभी भी?
बिल्कुल अभी भी होता है.
So now people need to tune into this so that normal people can tune into it?
Absolutely, it's on my Instagram.
So it's on a weekend which happens?
No, अब जब भी, like I said, everyone's gotten busy. सब busy हो गए.
How do people know about it then?
तो वो वही
Insta handle पे जाना.
हाँ, तो Insta handle पे जाना पड़ता है. उनको वहाँ पता चल जाएगा अंताक्षरी कब हो रही है. फिर आप आ जाइए.
Superb है.
तो यही है. But again, it's about spreading positivity. It's spreading a positive vibe. That's I think there is only one aim. सब बोलते हैं ना कि यार क्या करना चाहते हैं. यार, just spread positive vibes. I think that is where, तो मैं podcast के medium से करूँ, as a guest, आपके साथ यहाँ बैठ रहा हूँ, या फिर मैं अपना म्यूजिक बैंड वकाओ अगर कर रहे हैं, अगर हम गाना भी गा रहे हैं, तो that performance has to have an energy, like you experienced for that one song. That energy has to be there. You have to be able to feel that energy. If you're able to feel that energy, I can sleep well in the night.
Waka with Kamlksh Shetty, what kind of music you'll do?
Oh! सर हम तो कुछ है ही नहीं, ऑडियंस है सर.
तो आप जो मांगा दे दीजिए.
आप जो ऑडियंस मांगे, अगर उनको अंग्रेजी चाहिए तो अंग्रेजी, सूफी चाहिए तो सूफी, हिंदी चाहिए तो हिंदी, बंगाली चाहिए तो बंगाली, या मैरिड टू बंगाली तो एक दो बंगाली गाने गाने. अरे सीख लिए सर, सीखना पड़ता है.
कौन सा गाना गा? एक लाइन तो गा दो अभी.
Yeah, this is for all my Bengali friends, and of course to my beautiful Bengali wife. ये तो करना पड़ता है. तो আমার স্বপ্ন যে সত্যি হলো আজ, अपने प्यार के सपने सच हुए. देखिए बच्चन साहब भी जामाई हैं, हम भी जामाई हैं.
You got the sweetness of a Bengali name.
Oh, I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of kosha mangsho and mishti doi and sandesh tonight. So yes, I think I've won some brownie points for all the Bengalis.
So
Shangatik,
you know,
which means very good in Bengali. I can hear some Bengali people in the audience out there reacting to my
Sangatik.
Yeah, I could hear a couple of ha, he knows Bengali. He's trying, I know one more word, which is darun. So now again I will hear something. Because you see, I'm a radio guy. मेरे कान खुले रहते हैं. और बाकी काम करे ना करे, कान जरूर काम करता है.
RJ, actor, singer, foodie, traveler. कैसे सब कर लेते हैं?
छोटी सी जिंदगी है. Like I said, live a little, laugh a little, love a lot.
Now you're doing it so extremely well, because see, there's a generation today. I mean, I don't want to because I think the now generation is very well settled. है ना, वो डांस भी बहुत अच्छा कर लेते हैं, हर एक चीज अच्छा कर लेते हैं. So they are much better than where we were. So how do you don so many hats and
because कुछ नहीं, again मुद्दा एक ही है ना, that you're just spreading positive energy. अब वो आप खाने के माध्यम से करो या ट्रैवल के माध्यम से करो, तो क्यों आप ट्रैवल करते हो? बिकॉज आप खुद सीखना चाहते हो. ऑल्सो आप ट्रैवल करते हो बिकॉज you can meet new people. You can take in their energies and you can share your energies. तो बात घूम फिर के वहीं पे आ जाती है. That even through food, it's not just about the food. It's about sitting there on that table, sitting with the chef, sitting with like-minded people, with foodies, where you're exchanging conversations on food, where you're learning so much more, where you're learning about them, where they're learning about you. It's collaborations.
One place you would suggest for the viewers? Specifically for food. Because you connect
मेरे घर आ जाइए, जो मेरे किचन में जो खाना बनता है वो बहुत बढ़िया है. So that is the best place for food. But travel again, within India, I think every 50 kilometers is so beautiful. कि आप कहीं भी चले जाओ, आप कितनी बार भी चले जाओ, आपको हर जगह हर बार उसी जगह में कुछ नया सीखने को मिलेगा. The idea is not just कि वो जो बोलते हैं ना कि दिमाग की बत्ती आंखों से पट्टी हटाइए. दिमाग की बत्ती जलाओ और आंखों से पट्टी हटाओ. Which means every time you go, you should always वो जिज्ञासा होनी चाहिए to learn. So I mean I love going to Goa. Every time I go to Goa, it's a different Goa to me. It's not the same Goa. So within the country, I love Goa because of course it's close to Mumbai. So आप जब भी मन चाहे आप गोवा चले जाओ. And of course globally तो इतनी बहुत सारी जगह हैं. अलास्का है, अफ्रीका है, जहाँ हम सोचते हैं कि ये हम इस जंगल में रह रहे हैं. आप वो सफारी में जाके देखिए, जानवर आप हैं. You are being watched. You are not the one who is watching them. They are watching you. See how they live in there. There's so much that you learn. Again, the idea is आप अपने दिमाग की बत्ती और आंखों से पट्टी निकाल के आप are you willing to learn what's happening there? So yeah, lots of lovely places. But if I was to choose two of my favorite places, Goa in India and London outside of India.
The food?
For everything, all kinds of food, travel, something new every time that you go there. खाना तो है ही, लेकिन खाना तो आपका कंपेनियन है. जैसे मैंने कहा, रेडियो आपका फॉरएवर कंपेनियन है.
कोलकाता का दामाद और आप जब गोवा बोलते तो बीवी को बुरा लगेगा.
अरे बिल्कुल नहीं, because she loves it too. तो कहते हैं ना कि घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर. कलकत्ता तो हम पैसे ही जाते हैं, सर ये तो मेरा घर है. So Calcutta is always there. Mumbai is always there. I mean, on a more serious note, on a more emotional note, if there is a city or a place that's groomed me, that has, I think, given me the value system that I have, I think it's the city of Mumbai or Bombay that I was born in. It's beautiful.
What are the kind of experiences you draw while traveling? Because you look for something, because you are an actor, singer.
No, I'm looking for people. I'm looking for experience.
So they become the inspiration for you?
मैं तो बस जो भी मिले उनके साथ बातचीत करना शुरू करो, सीखो आप उनसे. जैसे आज मैं यहाँ पे आया हूँ तो मैं आपसे सीख रहा हूँ. आप सोच रहे हो आप मेरा इंटरव्यू करो, लेकिन मैं आपसे सीख रहा हूँ. I will go back a much more informed person. I'm learning from everyone. यहाँ पे जो आपकी पूरी टीम है, जो आपका जो पूरा क्रू है, जो प्रोड्यूसर, मैं यहाँ से सीख रहा हूँ. किस तरह से आपका लोगो बना है, किस तरह से आपका ये बहुत बढ़िया बैकड्रॉप डिजाइन हुआ, मैं तो सब सीख रहा हूँ.
So every moment is a learning.
Every moment मैं सीख रहा हूँ. And always be selfish. सीखो, लोगों से लो आप. अपना तो आप दे ही रहे, always absorb. जितना हो सके, I always believe कि यार you should be selfish in this. सीखने में you should always just take it all in and keep your, like I said, keep looking around and saying, kya hai? Wow, how is this? What's the thought behind this particular logo? Why is there a plant there? There's an Indian flag here. It's beautifully done. It's all beautifully planned. Always willing to learn. I'm learning every second.
That's a point for many of the young listeners who want to be watchful. I mean, keep a watch on things. Keep the eye for detail when it comes to anything you learn.
और कभी भी ये मत सोचो कि नहीं यार हमने तो we've achieved what we have.
Yes.
And again I come back to that. You will only do that if again you feel that you want to be relevant.
That's the mantra for today.
That is the mantra, I'm telling you. यही एक mantra है.
So tell me one thing, as a food blogger, do you feel many influencers get influenced themselves and dilute the information? Because influencers are all over the place now.
देखिए वो तो फिर हर किस्म की पिक्चर बन रही है, हर किस्म का गाना बन रहा है, हर किस्म का रेस्टोरेंट खुल रहा है, फूड इन्फ्लुएंसर्स भी हैं. आई थिंक सब सीखेंगे. आपको अपना नीश, आपको अपना रियलाइज करना है कि आप किस स्पेस में हैं. People are following you or you are a food influencer. Why? First, I think everyone has to answer that question. I'm a huge believer in brand and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I a food influencer?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that I want my audience to derive out of me? So important.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you're watching a Rohit Shetty film. You know you're watching it for entertainment.
True.
I'm watching a Karan Johar film. There is something. I'm watching Johnny Lever on screen. That's because I know that this is what I'm expecting out of it. It's very important to know where the problem lies. कि आप सोचते हो मैं ये भी करूँगा, ये भी करूँगा, ये भी करूँगा, ये भी करूँगा, ये भी करूँगा. No. Don't be everyone for everyone. You have to realize that if you're a food influencer, what do you want the audience to take out of it? Do they want to see you as a fun food influencer? Do they want to see you as someone who's a chef who's also an influencer? What is it about you that you want the people to follow you or to look up to you for? Once you figured that out, आपने अगर खुद को वो आंसर दे दिया ना, तो then everything falls into place. Then it's not important, the quality is not important. It's like reviews. Film reviews बहुत सारे लोग देते हैं. But you will go to only a particular review because you resonate with that particular film reviewer. And that film reviewer knows that. तो वो consistent होगा. You have to be consistent in what you do. अगर आज वकाव है या आज मेरा रेडियो स्टेशन है, today when I launched Radio Nasha का मंत्रा था cool retro.
Okay.
Cool retro क्या होता है? Retro है, but even within retro, can you be aspirational? Can you be cool? So I would term Devanand, Shammi Kapoor, Rishi Kapoor, Amitabh Bachchan. They are cool retro. आज भी आप गाओगे ना, Om Shanti Om is a cool song. So therefore, everyone aspires to want to be cool. And therefore, hang on, I can relate to this retro. So I have to make sure that radio station at any point of time will always be talking will have a certain coolness about it. And therefore, it's very important that if I'm coining this term called cool retro, then I need to live up to the term cool retro.
Relevant.
If I'm saying that Waka is about an energy, that energy has to come through. फिर मैं भले ही वो सूफी गा रहा हूँ या फिर वो अंग्रेजी गाना गा रहा हूँ या बंगाली गाना गा रहा हूँ या हिंदी गाना गा रहा हूँ. It's not about what you are singing, it's how you are singing it. The key is how. Everyone knows what to do. या पॉडकास्ट करते हैं. Everyone knows कि What to do तो सबको पता है. The real answer is how. And I think we have to, and the same thing that we have to ask ourselves. I know we're getting spiritual, but it's the how that's important. How do you want to lead your life? How do you want to reach out to people? How is important. How do you want to make sure that this podcast is going to be different or is going to emotionally connect with everyone else?
An advice for people who want to get into the radio business, what is the kind of things they need to know?
A lot of people think it's the voice, it's not the voice.
Okay.
It's about the connect. I always feel that वो एक ज़माना था जहाँ पे the voice would be the first thing that people would look at, audition करते हैं यार इसकी आवाज़ अच्छी है कि नहीं. But I don't think the voice.
आवाज़ की ज़रूरत नहीं है.
आवाज़ की बिल्कुल ज़रूरत नहीं है. मेरी तो अभी आवाज़ मतलब आपसे बात कर रहा हूँ 2 घंटे बिल्कुल बैठ गई है. But I can go on radio and I can say, hey, this is Sharmaji, I'm doing the show today. My throat's a little down, yeah, but I'm sure you'll bear with me. In fact, they'll love me even more for being real. So be real.
Real, relevant.
Yes,
energy
be real. Yes, be real. Or energy doesn't mean, hey. Energy could be, hey. But that energy needs to come through. Needs to come through your voice.
But ये सीखना होता है. These are ये जो छोटी बातें.
You be real. You just have to be real. आप अगर आप emote करोगे, a lot of times, all of them, I mean, a lot of the leaders today, whether it's a politician, whether you're an influencer, whether it's about how they're able to communicate their emotions. You have to be able to communicate your emotions. आपने वो कर लिया तो. Be real. That's the only thing that's required. आप और कुछ सोचो ही मत ना. अगेन मैं उतना सब सोचता नहीं. ये कौन सा मीडियम है, ये है, रेडियो है, वो है. Be real. Be who you are. And if you decide that no, you want to put on or you want to be someone else, then be true to that someone else. It's like in a film. Bhiku Matre, Manoj Vajpayee is not Bhiku Matre. But when Manoj Vajpayee did that film, he became Bhiku Matre. So either you be Manoj Vajpayee and be true to Manoj Vajpayee, or you be Bhiku Matre and be true to that character.
That's very, very important.
But again, you're being real. You're being real to your character, to the persona that you want to create, or you're being real to who you are. Either which way, there is nothing wrong. A lot of people say, no, but you're putting on, it's a put on. It's okay. As long as you're being real to that particular persona.
Manoj Vajpayee से याद है actor Gaurav Sharma has got a hidden agenda.
Oh yes, that's my newest play. It's called Hidden Agendas. And that's again a discipline.
छोटा सा ट्रेलर दे दो क्या है करके Hidden Agenda.
Hidden Agenda is a play. What is not hidden about it is why we're all doing it, because again we want to reach out to people, we want to entertain and engage with the audience. The play is all about the mobile phone nuisance, the intrusion that the phones is causing in our day-to-day lives, and what happens when a bunch of 8 friends meet for dinner, and फिर वो शाम को जो होता है जो खुलासे निकलते हैं, it's all about that one evening.
The story is about an evening with friends.
It's about an evening with friends.
Comedy.
It's comedy. It's dark humor. It makes you laugh, it makes you cry, it makes you react, and most importantly, when the play is over, it makes you want to discuss कि अगर ये हमारी लाइफ में हो तो क्या हो जाए.
So, it's coming with a message about phone addiction to some extent.
Well, like I said, I can't reveal too much more, but what I can say, it's about, like I said, a group of friends who meet for dinner, and they decide at some point of time in the play that everyone should remove their phone and they should keep it in the middle. And whatever phone message happens, whatever call happens, it will be accessible to everyone in the room.
क्या बात है. Gaurav Sharma, the actor, the singer, and इतनी सारी बात की आपने सब कुछ बताया. एक लास्ट लाइन हमारे दोस्तों के लिए, like गौरव शर्मा, वकाओ, हे सारी बातें लेके आओ. Sum it up.
Sharmaji, because I am on Who's on Air with Kamlksh Shetty. Like, love, follow, share, subscribe.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Super. Such a pleasure having you on the show.
What a pleasure.